Guys, good morning. Let's start with some music. Let me know if you can hear it. I just typed that as well, and let's have something play here. That was lovely music, isn't it? I like it as well. So hopefully everybody got some coffee. Everybody's getting ready. So let's see what it is in Canada on Monday. Is it today? It's 18 today now. No, it's more than 20. What am I talking about? See, that's what happens working from home. You have no idea what date, what month it is, what's going on. It's 21st. That's right. So we celebrate Victoria Day. You know, it's kind of like still connection to the British Empire. So she was known for using pot, and even though they're trying to glorify, but she was sort of like or is it cocaine? Or no, cocaine, I think cocaine. So that's kind of like what makes her very, very famous. So we are going through Gemini transition right now, and it is their birthday, so we are starting with them as well. I'm just trying to still see if this is, I just moved my camera a little bit. I guess we have a big delay again for some reason. Oh, that's what I need. I need my little pad to write down the timestamps. And where is my, oh, there it is, my thingy over here. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. That works okay. So how is everybody? I woke up a little bit tired, so if I'm a little bit incoherent, this is not the best way to run the readings, but I'm clear in my mind. I'm just a little bit tired for some reason, and I generally don't like sleeping in the morning, but that's exactly what I was doing for the past while. And it's not that I'm going to bed late, I'm going to bed early. It's just kind of a thing that we need to do. So Barbie asked us to pray for her friends. So like, let's spend a minute, just kind of like to really, really close our eyes and send the warmest wishes to the spirit. I don't like to recall spirits because we people are very attached to the loved ones in our life, but we want the spirit to decide what is the best for them, right? So just kind of like send this like really warm wishes to the spirit to make that decision, right? That is the best for them. So if you can, just close your eyes and just like feel the growth of a very positive energy inside of you, and just send it to Barbie so Barbie can actually have this energy being just to send to her friend. So sorry that this is happening. This is always very, very shocking. Kylie also was very sick, and so I'm really grateful that she's going to moderate because she's still, I guess, a little bit under the weather. And let's see who else is here. Who else is here? Lorna, hello, happy Saturday to you. Bonjour, Lynn, comme ça va? Je suis un peu fatiguée. J'espère que tu vas bien. And like my French is getting better. I'm feeling comfortable making small sentences. So Barbie, like I'm going to catch with Barbie via email. Hopefully it's going to get better. Kylie, of course, is here in the middle of the night in Australia. Jenny Richardson, good morning. We are back again. Jenny Aqua and Mark Leo. Good to see you guys. My gosh, Aqua and Leo, that's the same axis, and it's just a balance, and it can be marvelous, right, if it's done properly. You just kind of like pet that beautiful, beautiful mane of Leo, and then Leo just opens up and gives everything that Aqua needs. It can really work this way. So hopefully you like this music. Hello, Usha, and let's start, guys, and see what is in the cards for us first. So the first one is, Usha, it always goes, so just so we know, just because I don't like to pick and be accused who is next, I always start with the birthday sign, which is Gemini the stage, and then I'm just drawing them randomly from this little thing, which is giving you ability to guess which one is next. And if you do guess correctly, then I draw a card for you. And today I picked Osho Zen deck, and kind of like just kind of give you a little bit quick insight in kind of like what is coming here for you. So Kylie is cracking the whip. My mods are allowed to tell me what to do because they're running the show. I'm just reading here. So just so you know, they're the bosses over here. So I am trying to remember to put the sign each and every time when I do, but when I don't, when you see a mod ordering me around, that is for a reason. And why is that the signs are not showing up? Oh, here we go. They're tiny. I guess I have to make them all bigger, because last time I didn't manage to finally get this thing in a higher resolution, but everything else got so much smaller as a result. So Gemini, you are starting first, right on time. Look at us, how well we are doing. So it's good to start a little bit earlier and then have this chit chat so we can start. So I am using the Raphaelite Tarot. We didn't do it in a while. And I am also going to do a chakra. So it's going to be kind of like interesting combination reading here today. I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling it's all about feelings. This time around we are going through Mercury retrograde. So this is activating different parts in our charts. We just went through this. How was that for you guys last week with the Scorpio lunar eclipse? What happened in your life? Oh, I need to close the window. Did you have any changes? Did you start a new habit? Did you feel that maybe you're connecting with something from the past, with your family, with your ancestors. Maybe you're not seeing it as a big thing, but you need to think back what happened, and that's going to be really, really big going forward. It's kind of like a new era, if you kind of like wish. I'm gonna put it here so it's not messing up your screen. I'm just trying to make it as clear as possible. So my dear Geminis here, look at this beautiful, these cards are just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this deck. Love, 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 love. Who's driving? Oh, drive safely, Kylie. Maybe. Let's start. Kelsey. That's so cute. I kind of like do this, like I usually respond to my messages early in the morning when I also kind of like I'm still half asleep, and then I later read it and said I should never do that. So what do you guys have? You have 7 of Pentacles, and you have the Tower already jumping out for you, my dear Gemini. It's very unusual. Tower reversed. Ah, ay, ay, ay. Let me grab one. Ah, you're getting a vanity card over here. Wow, this is really intense. This is Mars principle. Mars is generally talking about struggles, but it can talk about supreme confidence. And the confidence sometimes can be a tricky part. It can mean that we are doing great stuff, that we are asserting ourselves, but it can also mean that we are just pushing it, that we are like just doing way too much, which can be a deterrent to things that we do. And that can be really worrisome in itself, right? The 7 of Pentacles card talks about, and look at how nice she is. Like, I think she's holding lavender, and lavender is like talking about a peace, about a higher kind of like wills, and it's like above her head. And interestingly that she has, oh, she has the rake. I was thinking she has a stick. She has a rake, and so she's resting on it. So it's kind of like some support. Did you ever like buy a plant and then you had to put a stick in it to kind of like support it? It's just kind of like what the feelings I'm getting here, that something is growing and now it needs a little bit kind of like formalization of it, if you wish. 7 of Pentacles talks, and like they're both 7s. This is like very, you're going to be in a very studious kind of like mode. And keep in mind, Mercury retrograde goes through like revival of the past issues coming back. And if you have to deal with past issues such as lawsuits, such as some applications, they say it's not good to get a job during Mercury retrograde, but like what if you applied before Mercury retrograde? Now it's a good time to follow up if you haven't heard from them. Now it's a good time to follow up with the past exes, maybe just to get this like last conversation. And it's really, really good healing period for that, because that's kind of like where communication comes back kind of like for conclusion, if you wish. For you, like I mean, it's rendering you in a very pensive mode. And it's really interesting, like this combination is making me very intrigued, right? Because this card is talking about basically aqua people. So I don't know if you have Aquarians in your vicinity, because just simply of the name of the card, I need to put my phone on buzz. Otherwise, oh my gosh, what's this? This is the major spam that I'm getting on the phone. Like, I had really Mercury retrograde. I couldn't set up the thing yesterday. Then I'm getting a whole bunch of pop-ups, and that's also Mercury retrograde, car issues, computer issues, and blah blah blah. So this is really talking about the people who actually visited the party, right? They're like toasting themselves and patting themselves on the shoulder for success in their business, right? And then this mysterious old man shows up, right? And kind of like he's asking them some weird questions, kind of, hey, do you prefer gluttony or generosity? Like, dude, like you're crashing the party kind of a thing, right? And they just kind of like ignore it. And Then he keeps talking like a prophet, and he tells them that, look, just more doesn't mean better. And they just like start making fun of him, right? But all of a sudden, like, I mean, they start seeing that the water is rising from everywhere, right? And then, like, they start even making fun of that. Hey, 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 look at that, we are getting more, right? Because this rain is kind of like making this water just be uncontrollable, right? So it's kind of like really weird, because they had to at this stage learn that they are not anymore dressed so kind of like nicely, and they have to make the best at what they have, which is what the message was in the first place. So it's the moment when they realize that they have to kind of like realize that they can maybe play in the water. That's when the whole kind of like fear stopped. So what is the basically point of this entire story is like that we need to stop when we have enough, or we say that we will stop when we have enough, but ultimately from what we see, it's never enough, right? And this to me talks about just like this, looking for validation outside, because sevens are not communication cards, sixes are communication cards, sevens are introspective cards, and they're like two sevens, and this one as well talks about it. On which level do you compete with the others, right? On which level do you feel that maybe you're disconnected from people in your life, or disconnected from relationship that is kind of like fruitful for you? This can talk about some limitations. But when the tower reverses, it tells me that there's like still a blind spot, and that's kind of like what they called willful blindness. And with willful blindness, you really need to take in account that it's you, it's like self-imposed. So let's say you have a boyfriend, and the boyfriend is just wishy-washy, and you're sticking around because, well, it's okay, kind of like a thing. It's nothing really concerning, but you're still not fulfilled the way you would want to be fulfilled. So you know that you're in that situation, but maybe breaking out of the situation would allow you to have more fun elsewhere, right? Because this ultimately talks about there's like some kind of self-doubt, and maybe living in illusion, but kind of like you have to figure out, especially because you're Gemini, it's your birthday period, is the emptiness or empty conversation sufficient enough to satisfy you? Is this something you want to play with, go with? Guys, this is a new period, like we are opening this new chapter. Like, do you really want to write the same book with the same players, with the same thing? Well, this is up to you. So don't let your pride get in the way. Don't think that you're like much better than anybody else, and ultimately go and look for your own happiness. And that's the lesson over here that it says. Hi Kelsey. Oh my gosh, Ozarks, loved those series, absolutely loved it, ate it, all of it. That girl, what is her name, the Ruth girl? Oh, she's such a badass. And she did this Anna Devalny, whatever it is. I just love her. So that was Gemini, guys. Now it is your time, and there it is. Kylie is guessing. You can guess to see which one will come next. So I'm going to draw not one but two, so we can kind of like speed it up for later, and see what it is. So that's going to be, we have Virgo, we have Cancer, we have, you got this Leo and Leo and Leo and nothing but Leo. Oh, that's so cute. So this is going to be for this guess, but I'm going to draw another one for the next round that you can guess throughout the reading. So let's see, anybody else? Where's Chris today? We are missing some kind of like male influence. Nobody guessed Pisces. So the Pisces are coming in next. Let me put your picture over here for Pisces, and that did kind of like make it bigger, so that's good. And let's go back and put it here, and let's go. Pisces. And guys, oh, What is this? Actually pull 2. That would be very confusing. Let's do this one that you can guess for the next one. So Pisces. 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 Chris is here. Hello, mister. How are you doing? Pisces, you're getting Ace of Cups reversed. That's not a good thing for Pisces. We need some male testosterone here. Working in an environment where all women, it's lovely, it's nurturing, but you know, like we can get overly sappy, so it's always good to have somebody kind of kicking in. Oh my goodness, Pisces, like first of all, lots of cards wanting to come through, which is really interesting. And look at this. This is like going from 0 to Queen, and something is reaching fruition that was not based on a good foundation in the first place. And look at these 2 threes showing up. One is like this proverbial 3 of Swords. Look at how drastic this image here is. Like a liar, liar, pants on fire. This kind of comes to mind over here. And it's just kind of like no matter what you feel that you're doing everything right, but you're being punished. And this is also this card of ships and friends. And look, the ship is freaking falling apart over here. These 2 cards came reversed. This is also giving me quite a bit of a pensive mode. I guess that's going to be a flavor of this kind of like period of the next 2 weeks, if not even for June, because I'm trying to have this intermediate messages to kind of cover a little bit longer. So and I'm trying to not to draw too many cards because it's much easier to focus when we don't have like 1,000,001 messages. I'm leaving those messages for the private readings, which by the way, feel free to book. For the people who are my mods and for the people who are my steady customers, I also do specialty readings like quarterly readings and annual readings, but I don't offer them on my website. So what do we have here? This is really interesting. So first of all, like you are feeling that you're successful at something, but I need to tell you that because Destiny's card is also like really crown chakra as well. So you are a water sign. The water is clearly coming through here, but there's also air and fire, which is good. The elements are here. We don't have ground. There is like no ground. So even with all of that, and especially when we are seeing you just open the wrong door. So it's kind of like what they call making a lemonade when life hands you out lemons. That's almost like the situation that I see here. But now that you are there, now you kind of like resolve the situation, you are looking at it differently. You are saying to yourself, I wish I was never in this situation. I don't even know why, for which reason I spent so much time doing it here and handling it, right? So this is an internal joke, cheese and peanuts over here. It's hilarious. But mods, any mod that wants to jump into our WhatsApp convo group, just send me an email. I'm going to write here my email, and Kylie or I will send you a link. Am I spelling this properly? I got my new contacts, which I'm not wearing them right now. Is it Mr. CatTarot Gmail? Yeah. But they're not working well for a reading. Like they're like really perfect for the long distance, but not really great. So ultimately I ended up not wearing them again. So guys, this is really interesting. So I don't know if you have any let's say Gemini in your life or some kind of like duality, because this is what this card is, like this black and white kind of like motive that I have here. It's kind of like these twins are in heaven right now. They managed to get on the other side. They lived lives before, and in all of these lives they were in love. This was always like a very strong connection, either a soulmate or like twins or something like that. But at this stage they got approved to kind of like go back and live another lifetime, but they are not linked. In that life they didn't kind of like manage to get quote unquote approval to kind of like be together. So they're coming before this big council and asking them, look, we really need to be together. Please keep us together, because together we can accomplish much greater things than we would have done it alone, kind of a thing, right? So this is about taking a risk. Maybe you Pisces played it safe and sound. Maybe you need to kind of like dare to have your life the way you decide, because it looks like it has been programmed for you over here, and that is not resulting in any satisfaction over here. So what tools do you need to have to form your own destiny? It's kind of like this very existential mode that is really like going to be very prevalent in your life. And you also have to make this decision, because without you being an active player, it's not going to happen. This also talks about true love and you being ready. So even out of the bad situation, you did develop yourself emotionally. But at this stage, I think it's time to take a stand. This is positive, and maybe some kind of radical application is really needed. And you need to be able to change, because you know the Pisces has like these two flowing into different directions. You kind of tend to confuse yourself all the time. The answers are not definite, but at this stage a pathway is showing up and a new direction in which you can flow. So take a jump, guys. You don't have to stick to where you have been going through. There is something new. Otherwise, like this sting of pain and not really getting the great accomplishment might prevail, and it's not fun to do it, right? So let's do it. Already, you guys can guess it. We are seeing the guesses already. So this one is next. Let me remove the icon for now, and let's see who is going to be crowned as the next reading. So we have Cancer, we have Leo. I know Ikat is going to guess Leo. She's like consistent. Anybody else throwing in their hat? You see? Anybody else? Anybody? I'm going to start unfolding this. It. We have Cancer, we have total Cancer, Aries. Ooh, we have a winner. Hello, Lorna H. Hello, Robin. How are you doing? There is a Leo. So, Lorna, you get your card here. So, let's see. Since your spirit guide just stepped in, let's see what message you get. And you get sharing. So this is the proverbial queen of wands. You see the cups, the queen. It's the bounty of some sort. It's explosion of the things. You're going to feel things are working well. It's going to be some sort of celebration or some sort of accomplishment, promotion, accolade. In any case, you need to step in your own power. And be careful not to overtalk. In this situation, it would be better to say less and to give impression that you know more than open your mouth and reveal how little you know. And this is kind of going to give you some prestige. It's almost like a leadership of some sort that is basically calling from you. So this is really, really good. Hello, Robin. It's so nice to see. I know, like, I'm gonna have to pick the turn live. That is okay for the West Coast, for the East Coast. We have like the moderators from Australia, so that all kind of like really comes to play. And let's see, Aries, let's put your little icon over here and go back, put it aside, and here's for the next round is already here. Let me put your stamp and let's start. Let's see, Aries. Welcome, Lorna. So we have the Star. This is my favorite card. Of course, not because I'm Aquarius, but simply because of the symbolism of the hope, which I think it's the main ingredient in life. Resilience, hope, loving. So we have the Knight of Swords, which is really interesting rendering. It's almost like Lady Godiva, but it's except it has the scale, which is not in balance. This is really interesting, Aries, especially because I have to take in account Mercury retrograde and have to take in account that you're Aries, right? So you're getting air and fire. It's good. So if I remember the reading that we had before, it was showing that you have been in some kind of slump, not really feeling like who you are, not feeling really enthused or anything. It was just kind of like blah. And this is changing. I see this. Mind you, like, I don't know like why this came reversed. Maybe you're just getting busy for the sake of being busy, because this talks about defining goals. Oops, hiccups. We have some spirits visiting us over here, and we have expansion. So clearly for you, I think you are like taking, you are like in the mode of gaining energy. And I don't know, for some reason I saw gym, I saw people running in gym, I saw people just simply, you know, you are what you do kind of a thing, attitude over here. In your case, I just like feel you're like getting out of that slump. You're kind of like starting to move your limbs, you're starting to kind of like do different things. And this is kind of like really almost like more important than setting concrete goals, because you're saying like, what's the point of setting those goals? I first have to, quote unquote, be able to walk, right? So if you want to run, like, you're just kind of like doing those steps, which is asking you, okay, still would be good to have a goal, because you're having this thing, because there's like still some kind of like a jaded thing, and that's what I see from this card. They're very similar in kind of like feeling, because in this particular card, God is asking, okay, I have to decide on the colors of this planet, and let's talk about the sky right now, what color it should be, kind of a thing, right? And he kind of like really wanted input of everybody, kind of a thing, right? And then basically they said, look, you're God, you know the answer, let's not go with that collective opinion and everybody's putting their kind of 2 cents. You are going to know the right color when you see it, because you are God, because you are so intuitive, kind of a thing. So the sky god, he's a sky god, he kind of like, I mean, he trusts and then meditates, and then he sees that color like clearly, that cerulean kind of like blue, and hence that becomes that cerulean or sky blue. So this is about seeking advice, I think, and this is about pushing in a new territory, but also kind of like qualifying it properly. Not, you know, like how you guys are, like, you push, when you push, your energy is uncompared to anybody else's energy. I think only Scorpios can maybe measure that energy, but only when they're on a, you know, on a destructive kind of like curve, right? So you need to, at this stage, and maybe this is what this means, stay away from anybody who's critical of you, because they're going to kind of like tap into your energy and create kind of like imbalance, right? And I don't know, maybe you're changing your friends, because this is clearly that expansion. This is clearly nurturing yourself. This is clearly hoping for the better. It's emotion. It's kind of like following your own intuition, who you really want. But this talks about, I don't know, maybe you have an air sign friend, or you have somebody who is Libra over here. I don't know. It just shows that somebody is negative in the situation, which could be you, which I initially thought, but it could be somebody around you. So you should allow, and that's why this is called expansion, and new people entering your life. You need to kind of like speak to somebody who is willing to tell the truth. Seek friends who are telling you the truth, not who are with you because they're lonely, because they need somebody to talk to. Seek friends who are better than you. You know, it's kind of like the principle of trying to catch up with them, not because of catching up with the Joneses, but simply because you're seeing something in them that you want to become. But we are talking about the character development, not about possessions over here, right? So it's being guided. You have to allow yourself to be guided, whether this is literally a counselor or simply kind of like reading the room properly. So do not allow anybody, negative Nancy's, to kind of like mess up with you, as it's going to be very important that you guys trust yourself and keep going. But it's good for you. You're getting revitalized, you're getting busy, you're moving in a really, really good direction. So here I see a whole bunch of new guesses, and this is going to be the next one. So what do we have? We have Taurus, we have Leo, we have Cancer, and Capricorn. And the answer is, who guessed Cancer? Naning Yogi. Hola, hola, hola. So, Naning Yogi, I need to remove this icon first. Naning Yogi gets her card out. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, no, we got Ocean Zen. Be careful who you choose as friends, as we do become who we surround ourselves by. And you know, I'm Aquarius. I have tendency to surround myself more or less in a nurturing role, where, you know, I want to help all these people. Especially now when we are in Canada helping lots of Ukrainians, I had to resist the urge to fill my house with strangers. And the only reason I managed to resist it because I have to keep it open for my brother and his family to arrive if needed, if the war starts in Europe. But I have few friends who went through this process, and they're reporting really strange things, like from being extremely ungrateful to swearing at the hosts, of telling them I just live here. Meanwhile, they're living for free, they're getting food for free, they're getting clothes. It's just really weird. I don't know. Especially for Europeans, I know, especially Eastern Europeans, we are raised to be very humble and grateful. I have to say I'm shocked. Maybe times have changed since I was younger. I'm not that old, but I'm older. So, no, we got a whole bunch of cards jumping here for you, and two of them came through. So one is patience reversed, another one is, ooh, lovely card, going with the flow. But this is one really interesting with whole bunch of moons coming through, and this pregnancy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, the pregnancy of the 9 months, but it was reversed. I mean, I know you're Virgo, and so this is earth and this is water over here. It's very interesting for me that earth needs water for nurturing, but you don't need to be patient over something. It's basically time to get off the pot, kind of a thing, right? Enough things have been handled, enough things have been done, and now you need to look for your own emotional self-satisfaction, because this is the lovely Ace of Cups over here, and it's just telling me, like, look, we are all moving over there, but don't make it hard for you at this stage. Go with the flow, go with the least resistance in some direction that is going to be really beneficial for you. So the Cancer moon maybe is showing up, that now it's activating, and you need to listen to that. And Cancer moon is nurturing, and I really think this really talks about self-nurturing. This also can talk about meeting somebody new, because it's Ace of Cups, and it's just basically saying be open to all the possibilities. But if you are waiting for something and you think you have to hop through some other hoops, no more than that. But kind of like it's telling you, it's kind of like setup is there already. Now you just jump in and kind of like flow with this. So that's kind of important to do. So I hope this helps. And so let's go to Cancer. Let's put your icon there. Cancers. Cancers. Alrighty. Cancer. And let's, did I put the icon? I didn't, or did I? Oh, I didn't. Oh, I did. It just like didn't show on a big screen over here for me. Cancers. Maybe I should start with these guys. Welcome, Cancers. So, woo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The reason I'm saying oh my goodness, because such a strong cards are two major arcanas, and they're both very air cards, which is like fish out the water. It's the first thing that is coming to mind over here. And like when Cancer is out the water, like they are very defensive. It's not necessarily, but it's a good thing. There's like something happening over there. These are extremely positive cards. It's why, like, this is so you guys. Something is going to scare you. Something really good will be happening to you, and you are going to be feeling, oh my goodness, I just need to do it myself. Or why are you staying out? Like, you're not reaching out. So these are your air sign friends, or people with whom you maybe don't have a very strong relationship, but it's kind of like on a communication level. It could be stronger, it could be in particular, well, this is Uranus, this is God. So Aquarius is sort of like a thing that kind of comes up and emerges over here. I don't know, maybe you cherish somebody, maybe you value somebody, maybe you're putting somebody on a pedestal, but then I don't know, are you feeling that you just cannot connect? Are you feeling that it's just kind of like not doable for some reason over here, right? Isolation card is really interesting because look at this. We see this like, I mean, big sapphire over here. We see this like really nice suit getting ready. And then we see this like freaking sword. So maybe you cherish somebody, but you also revert them. Maybe somebody's really great and exciting and charismatic, but maybe they also have a very sharp tongue. So each time you want to reach toward them, you go, oh, wait a minute. And this is what Cancers are like, right? So you see the air signs, fire sign, like they just keep rushing into situations, but Cancers and earth signs, they're more careful when kind of like they approach it, right? So it's kind of like, you know, I remember this, that would hurt me, and it's just gonna go back under the rock that way, right? So this is really talking about this kind of suits being used for an occasion, right? And kind of like always wearing the same thing when something really happens. So it's kind of like that routine that has to happen. And also giving the level of the suit, it looks like the expectations are very high, meaning people, quote unquote, of your, let's say, call it caliber, right? It happens, right? So it's kind of like waiting for the right time to live your life, and the opportunities are enormous in this particular period. Like you're getting the Fool, which says go jump, go take this opportunity, everything is possible. It's, you're on the top of the world, right? And look at it in this deck, his little kind of like sack is freaking amazing. Does he hold a chicken? No, he calls the fleur-de-lis over here, but he is like so royal over here. Absolutely freaking amazing. And she is nurturing. It's just like too bad that they didn't come up this way, because oh my gosh, the chicks, it's maybe better because you are doing it for the right reasons. And so it's kind of like lots of things happening at the same time over here, right? It's, you jump into the opportunity, and then it's like this gorgeous man or a woman or something that looks so hopeful that is really happening. But you are running into that self-protection mode. You're making excuses, or you're preparing forever, kind of like never feeling ready to kind of to take action. There's like something that is maybe going to pass you by unless you resolve your fears. There's like something or somebody who and this could be also Mercury retrograde acting up on you, that you have somebody in the past who has been very meaningful to you, who still somehow exist in your life. They are like still things that are really kind of reminding you of this person, or that you still desire, but you either don't want to disturb the status quo, or you just don't want to kind of like go in a new direction. So it's really important here, guys, that you you work on your own fears. I just would not like you to kind of like stay behind because this is like such a positive reading, and only one person is in your way, and that is you guys. So hopefully, you know, you kind of like take note when you feel this kind of like knot in the stomach, and you decide to go in spite of your fears, which kind of like would be my advice. So guys, guesses. I need to run in the bathroom, my apologies, but I don't want to be nervous when I am reading. So I'm going to remove a Cancer sign. I'm going to play a tiny little song while I am in a bathroom. It's not going to last this long, but play the same song. I'll be back in a second. Have more guesses. Let's see, guys, what you guessed. What you guessed. We have Sagittarius, we have Taurus, and we have Aquarius. Who guessed Aquarius? Ekat. Ekat, you changed, and it was score. So right after I was like just saying you never ever change, and look at you, like right, like I'm in bullseye. So Ekat, you get your card over here. Let's see. Thank you. I like this music. I wanted to change a little bit. I kind of like the music in the background, but I think to some people, once when you tune in and that's all you hear, it can be very okay. You're getting maturity. This is the Ace of Pentacles. It's not as exciting ace as the others, but it's sturdy, it's long, it's lasting. So it's telling you that you need to do something that is going to start building new foundation, and it can be a really big success, or maybe something that you have started recently is giving you a pat on the shoulder and say to continue going in that direction. This kind of like relates to very earthy kind of like oriented activities, such as home and taking care of you, your family, your well-being, I don't know, even gardening, but also like obtaining the job, nurturing the job. This is kind of like what is really covered in this card, or simply maybe beautifying. Not so much exercising, will be more like fire, but beauty generally is covered under Earth card. So as we can see, like this is absolutely gorgeous image that is getting like in a full focus, and it's kind of going there as well. Lorna guessed Aquarius as well. Yes, she did. Thank you for letting me know. And hello, Safi. Hello, Safi. This is Aquarius showing up for her reading. Is that right? Yes, we just need to do Lorna, and then we will do Aquarius. Lorna. It's Lorna. No, this is the deal. I am pulling the card for everybody who guesses. This is the whole idea. You're getting politics. You look at the snake behind, and that's the proverbial Seven of Swords. You better watch behind you. You have somebody in your life who is putting like a really face that is not who they are. You might have a feeling, you know, like we usually have feeling around these people. we cannot put a finger on it, and we feel if we say anything, everybody's going to attack us because they seem to be nice. But it's a gut feeling. It is telling you something is wrong, right? Something is off. And it's really, really important for you to know this. So somebody's saying all the right things, but devil spare no opportunity to jump and cut your throat and do it. So I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking it could be a work related situation, but not necessarily. So be careful. This is a fake person who for some reason is targeting you. So that is very, very interesting down. So I don't think Barbie is here, so I'm going to tell you where are we with the doors. So this is Aquarius. So 1, 2, 3, no, it's going to be one more sign, and then we will do the doors every 6 signs, I think. So we are now on Aquarius. Aquarius is the 5th one, I think, in this one. Let me just check again. I'll tell you kindly. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. So it's going to be one more after this, a sign, and then we'll go to doors. You're welcome. And let me just pull the next one so you guys can guess. But keep in mind that, like, even though I'm reading signs, for all of you who are here on live, every sign can be sending a message, and this is the whole idea of these energies that we are all bringing to the table at this particular time. So let's see. Aquarius. Safi, where are you? Safi, here is a reading. She was like impatient. Ooh, Judgment. Safi girl. Come on, Shop Shop. Where is Shafi? Shafi, Shafi. Come. Coffee, coffee, Shafi. Shafi, Shafi. Where is Shafi? Aquarius. Where's Shafi? I'm surprised that she usually comes when I call her. It's very unusual. So we have 7 of Cups. Oh, there you are. Where are you? Where are you? Come. 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 What? 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 Where are you? Where are you? There she is. That's the reading for Safi. Yeah, here we go. Aquarius reading. She's a little Aquarius. Oops. I'm getting a whole bunch of cards, but I'll show you the 3 that showed up. Complacency, joy, and perception, even though this one was on the top. I'm going to leave them on the table just because they kind of like relate to these cards as well. So Karma card showed up here, which means that something fateful is in process already, because this is not a card that denotes something starting. So this is something that is already going. Interestingly, like, look at how we have this emotional thing happening. So the sound that you're hearing from Safi, that's the sound she makes when she cuddles the tiger, and they're like rubbing their heads together, and she's asking him to pet her, even though he's kind of busy licking his own paw. And that's usually what he does to pretend he kind of like doesn't know what she's asking, kind of getting lazy. And she can be a little bit too much with with her demands. So this means, here, you're back to me. He didn't pet you, so I have to pet you. This is not why I called you. I called you to, Madame, I called you to say hi to everybody, to do the reading for you, and to see, do you love everybody? Do you love all these people on live? Huh? Really? Do you like birds? Yeah, you do. Can I do the reading for Aquarius right now, and everybody else can just enjoy it as much as you do? Huh? How, Madame? How, Madame? There we go. My little pest. My little pest. So there it is, Aquarius. It's going to be a very cuddly mode. There's like something that is being released. Karmically, we are getting a new chance. We are not confused anymore. Seven of Cups reversed is a good card, and I think the Seven of Cups relates to this complacency, doing things the same way all the time, every day, waking up at the same time, starting the day with the same rituals, getting a coffee, getting ready, working. This now is being shuffled around. Some new things are being introduced, like I'm introducing in my routine cold showers right now. And it's really tough because initially when I did it, I thought I was doing very well. And then I realized, this is still 75-degree shower versus 100 that I usually take. And I was reading it has to be like, I don't know, like, I mean, what was it, 50 to 70 or something. So when I started going down, it was like really, really shocking. But at this stage, I am under 60, like somewhere 57, I think it was this morning. So this is kind of like changing the new things, shuffling it around, not doing the same old as it really usually was. This is opening the doors to something, and this is about release, and this is about finding yourself. This entire card is telling a story where she was like in a very unkept garden that she felt lost, and then she saw this like door crack open, and she entered this like dark kind of like passage, and poof, the door slammed behind her, and she's like, what do I do now? So she's tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping in the dark, and then she finds another door, opens that other door, and she realizes, oh my goodness, I'm in the same garden, except this time this garden is like beautiful, full of birds, butterflies, all kind of like manicured, and it's absolutely beautiful, right? So this is that full circle. Like, this is a full circle card, this is a full circle card, and this is a full circle card, right? So we are talking about that journey sometimes brings us full circle and leaving us to wonder why things happen, leaving us to wonder why we have the same patterns, right? Why we still have doing this. But at this stage, because I see this complacency is something that I think we are reviewing it. We are reviewing what things are in our way in order to make us really, really happy, right? So what in our life needs standing? How good will we allow ourselves to feel? Aquarians are really, it takes one to know one. We are like really hard on ourselves. We are only going to allow us to be happy when we achieve a goal, but the goal is never a small goal, it's always a big goal. So like we need to kind of like start to moderate all of that kind of a thing and allow yourselves right now to have this change of perceptions, because the joy is very similar in flavor. This is a heart chakra, this is a solar plexus chakra, this is a base chakra. So maybe something is not flowing properly in terms of finances, in terms of kind of like, let's say, roots of some sort, but nonetheless there is like, I mean, certain vibrancy in your life, right? So this represents usually significant change, something new that is happening. But this can talk about marriage, it can talk about a new job, or I don't know, even moving of some sort, right? It's kind of like done also through fear, walking on hot coals, because of this card coming through. But really this is about higher purpose guiding us. There's like something that is really important to do it, because being present is not the same as experiencing something, actively jumping into things that are really, really hard, right? This card is really interesting. It talks about dreams that have not been achieved. And maybe I think this is one of like those fable messages that you get at the end of the fable, because it talks about this old lady who all her life talked about the dream that she and her late husband wanted to move to Florida, right? And they never went. But after she died and her daughter got inheritance, she just realized, oh my gosh, it's so much money, you could have moved there, kind of a thing. So she kind of like wondered why this never happened, why it was always kind of a distant dream, right? So this is almost like a warning that is telling us not to give up and not to just coast in a situation, but sort of like redefine our dreams and stop procrastinating. So this is also about taking care of ourselves and not allow ourselves to feel depleted, because that can be also time for deep rest. So kind of like a balance, like when we are vibrant we also need to rest. And it's also about being daring. It's also kind of like about reclaiming who we are and how we are and where we are going. But this is not going to be that many options because of the Seven of Cups. It's kind of good because there's many options sometimes push us in directions, then in the end nothing really happens. So it's kind of like pick one and go with it. That is like clearly going forward. So let me catch up with you. Let's see, we have already guesses. Sagittarius, oh, you have somebody at work. Yes, see, Lorna, just watch them. Now you know, you have that understanding. Just be nice back, don't do anything like, they're almost like setting you up, and now they won't be able to, and I really like that. So we'll see. Kylie doing the Wim Hof method. Cat, no, I wish. Well, yes, this is the guidance that they want to do. This guy dips himself in the freaking freezing water. Like, that's the idea where I would go. So far, I'm not able to do as much, but I think this is not, honestly, I sometimes feel I'm going to have a heart attack. This is how cold this water is. It's like kind of like really kind of like wondering like how healthy this is, but I just keep going through it, and it's happening because it started with 10 seconds and then 15 and 20 and now on 2 minutes, and I got knitting yoga to do that too. So it's oh, you're on cold showers. Oh my god, look at this. It's freaking amazing. Like, we are all thinking alike. I just love it. Look at that energy. Like, we are becoming collectively connected. So that's lovely. Okay, guys, let's see which one is the last sign before the doors. Safi is over here. So which signs? This is your ascendant. I don't know your ascendant, but now we're going to find out. So we have guesses. We have Capricorn. We had Sagittarius. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Leo. Oh, Gemini. That's a false because we did this one. So it's going to be this one. Somebody gets Sagittarius. Knitting yoga. Oh my gosh, you are freaking on a roll. She almost like, are you talking to God and they just tell you the answers? It's hilarious how you're like really rolling today. Okay, so let me just remove Aquarius here, and I'll put Sagittarius, but I'll just do your card first. Virgo. Okay, so this one is guidance. It's again like earthy card. It's like, I mean, earth element, but look, nothing in this card is really showing earth element, and this is like a very special card in earth deck, because this is the one that is showing about excelling. It's showing a teamwork, it's showing groups, it's showing that groups are excelling, like what people can do individually, groups can bring on a much higher level. So 1 + 1 is no longer 2, it adds up to much more. It's really interesting that the other one doesn't seem to be taken off with this energy. So the question here is, which one are you? Are you going to open and spread your wings? Or you're just going to look back? And that's the Mercury retrograde. It could be both of them are you. For some reason I'm picking up on that one, that you're just simply feeling, you know, well, this is not for me, but you should open your wings. And but this is like, to me, thinking big, right? Kind of like, don't think just in your little vicinity, just like think how that can be a master plan, a master evolution, and kind of like going in that direction. So that can really work that way. So hopefully this helps. And Sagittarius, you are next. So Sagittarius, let me pull the sign that we're going to have after the doors over here. So Sagittarius. Oops. Sagittarius. I know their game is unplayed. Good for you, Lorna. So we have a 6 of Swords, and then we have a 6 of Cups. So you guys are really hit with this Mercury retrograde. You're going back. Like, Sagittarius is not a sign that likes to look back. Even when you mess up entirely, you're going to say, not me, and never mind, that happened like centuries ago, kind of a thing, right? So you have this ability of always raising above, and you have Jupiter, and it's kind of like not costing you, like your mistakes are not very costly as they would cost, let's say, somebody else. You're getting vanity as well over here. So it's really interesting because this is a communication card and this is a communication card, and it almost like a feel they kind of like belong to Gemini, which is like the same axis as you are, but you have 2 sixes, which is telling me there's like something really emotional happening over here. So that emotional could simply relate to or refer to all partners, as this is a Mercury retrograde card. But you have like 2 sixes, which could be a soulmate kind of like a thing, right? So Safi, oh my gosh, so this is Tiger disciplining Safi, and Safi trying to sharpen her, thank you Lynn, sharpen her claws on the screens on the windows. It's just like a bloody mess getting all over the place. I love the icon, Lynn, it's cute. So yeah, the Sagittarians are really these big balls of fire, but like they're not going to be nothing like. It's kind of like a situation happening here, and that's she's getting pets from Tiger. Now he's willing to satisfy her wishes over here. So what is basically happening here is this is kind of like a return to something, whether or not these are problems. Most likely they are problems. So you maybe have left some situation that has been very problematic, or have been involved with somebody who has been very problematic, very sharp-tongued, and lots of, I would say, bad things have been exchanged. But for some reason you haven't forgotten them, and there's like a really nice and fun place that you have in your heart that is really happening, but there's like some kind of like disconnect. There's like, this is the card as I kind of talked about, this whole concept of like who belongs to who, like there are different groupations of people and sometimes they don't cross, kind of a thing, right? So learning kind of like how and when is enough is kind of going to be very important, right? But this is also about power to change. I don't know, like, I mean, I'm wondering if you felt that you didn't give it enough chance, that very unusual for Sagittarius, there's like self-reflection, oh boy, I really messed up, and it's an awareness that is bringing transformation in the situation, right? It is like really something that is really happening, where now you can choose, okay, let me feel bad about this entire situation, but this is kind of like would be the territory of a water sign. Let's sit in the corner, let's feel bad, let's play some sad music, kind of a thing. Or you can act like a fire sign and you can say, you know what, yes, I have this fondness in my heart, and I still have this, like, I mean, love for you, but you know what, I need to kind of like start changing. I need to maybe allow myself to find something like that again. It's not out of question that you guys going to get in touch with an old, I don't know, fling, or the old fling will get in touch with you, but it's going to sound like, it's going to feel like for you, like, what was it thinking? Because it's just going to show that either you're not in the same league, or you're not in the same stage of your life, or like that you grew apart so much that it's just not going to be even remotely connective as it was in the first place. So that is going to be very, very interesting over here to do. So let's see. So Chris, I'm not following any kind of temperature time pattern, just turn it on cold. Great method. How long do you stay under the cold shower, Chris? How long are you able to? Because well, hopefully not like, well, I don't know, Kylie, this is really interesting because it's just telling you to kind of spread your wings and look for your own happiness. So guys, I am going to do the doors next. So let's close this for a second here to shuffle cards. Okay. Need to remove the Sagittarius. So you guys make a wish. You kind of like think what a question that is more or less yes or no question, and really focus on it. I'm going to draw three cards and we're going to see what happens. And let's start. Okay, door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. All right, let's go back to you guys. Put a little stamp over here, and if you guys tell me what was your question and which door you picked, I can even clarify it for you, but only if you feel comfortable with that, right? So Chris says, well, let's just say I don't leave the hair conditioner on as long. Hilarious. For me, the hardest part is my head. Honestly, when it gets on my head, such a cold water, because my shower has a really weird thing. Like, I mean, like here is basically 0, and that's where I did initially put on 0, but it was about 70 something. But I can go much lower, which really goes to really cold, freezing kind of temperatures. So I kind of go halfway, and I'm on 55 now, which is basically a temperature that won't win half. He goes even less. I think he goes on 30 or even less. I'm not there, but apparently it's really good for you. So I can do anything, but my head is kind of toughy for some reason. So let's see. The door number 1 is transformation. Oh my gosh, like there is like this Neptune sea god that is like Scorpio. We can see Phoenix rising over here, the snake, and different options. So wow, do I say yes or do I say no to that? I would say yes, but it's going to take changes, massive changes, in order for things to happen. It almost like something needs to end. It almost like maybe somebody sits on 2 chairs and has 2 partners, and something has to end for this to actually move forward. So then we have the door number 2. Matrix are going to come and say, look at this majors coming through. We have aloneness. So again, this is a positive card, but if you ask to be in a couple, the answer is no. But if you ask for some kind of achievement or for getting to the bottom of the issue, that is clearly a yes over here, right? So this is kind of like how things really need to proceed over here. So this is also the card about clarity, that you need to find this answer for yourself and see what you're comfortable with. Well, thank you, Lynn, I appreciate it. And then the door number 3, and it's adventure. Oh my gosh, isn't this amazing card? It just like gives you this kind of like whole feeling of some kind of like magic things happening. So this is clearly yes, and honestly it's going to happen when you give up. You just like, you'll think not going to happen, and it's going to happen in a very nice and an innocent way. So it's absolutely lovely. It could be in the student environment, it could be in a work environment, and that's kind of like where I see this, except I really have to say this can evolve slower than you anticipated. So voila, that's kind of like what I see. Good to hear, Kylie. So guys, guess. You can guess the next thing. While you're guessing, I'll be shuffling the cards for this particular sign. I know which one it is, so I can do that, and you guys can guess. So I'll do first the sign, and if somebody guesses, I'm going to do after. And I know that I need to. Oh, I'm having here Queen of, I think once over here it is really showing up. She's really beautiful. So we have a Leo. We have a Leo. Usha, we're waiting for it. Oh, nice. Oh, I have a 2 of Swords. It's really interesting because we don't have the massive water here, we have the sundial over here, which is a really nice thing. Any more guesses, guys? Any more guesses? Thinking Yogi's guessing Scorpio. Anybody else? Chris didn't make, oh yeah, he did make one guess so far. Mysticism. Well, this is very appropriate for this sign. And Knitting Yogi once again, it's a Scorpio. It's a Scorpio. So actually, you know what? Before I put it, I can actually as well pull up the card for you. I told you, like, you are the freaking roll today. And which one? This one wants to come out. And this one wants to come out. This one is you, aloneness, and this is like the Virgo representation, since you are Virgo. But then you have the outsider that has, like, isn't this so sad, that has been locked out from all the goodies, because you can see all these like candy kind of colors over there, no longer. So maybe some isolation is now brought wiseness, and this is now you're becoming a part of a group, and you're almost becoming a wise leader. And this is kind of like sending a really really important message, and it's talking about lightness. It's talking about how you know, 5 energy is very light energy. It's about traveling, it's about languages, it's about youthfulness, no matter how old you are. So there's like something that is traveling in that direction over here. So there you go. That's your guess. And Scorpio, let's put your little kind of like a thingy there, because I'm so happy with my Scorpio little thing here. There we go. Your timestamp. It's kind of weird, these timestamps are just always scrambled when I do them. So let's go the second part. How am I doing on time? I'm just a little bit slow, because I always want to keep it under 2 hours. I thought it was going to be 1 hour today, but I don't know, for some reason I'm being drawn to kind of give more explanation. It really depends on the deck that I pick. Hi Matrix, hello. He's coming to drink his water that is on the table, but it's full of stuff. You generally don't see Matrix. Let him drink your waters. It's really interesting. He's a black cat, hence Scorpio. He is drinking water, which is Scorpio. I'm feeling lots of connection with spirits today, which is really great. Can you hear the sound? That's him drinking water. Here, let me put it closer. So this is the water sign here that you guys don't see it in your cards, but look how it showed up, because you have to read everything that is available. Here, Matrix, come, show your pretty face to everybody. So that he's like, what are you doing? A little kind of like thing, like whenever I open the door, he bolts out, because he knows I'm not going to let him. What, you are here too? Is Scorpio ascendant then, and you're showing up? So my dear Scorpio, you are going to be starting some really interesting phase, which is going to be really intriguing for you, and it's almost like welcome for you. While most of us would not like some surprises that are so mystical, you are thriving on that. It's kind of like a bring it on kind of a thing, right? So Usha, there is no reason to be disappointed. This just is kind of like things happen. So it's exactly when they tell you, when the life brings you lemons, you have to make lemonade. So kind of like things need to happen in their own time, and it's like nothing well, I guess disappointment is a human emotion, but you have to figure out what positive thing can happen out of it, and that is going to be very important. Now, where do I start here, Scorpio? Because the black cat brought kind of like this water element over there, which talks about something unexpected and something nourishing that has to happen. We have the black cat, and I don't know if you know it, seen here as well. So it was really a little freaky, kind of like this happened, especially, as you know, Matrix very rarely shows up during our meetings, and that maybe happened once before, twice before in years, right? So it's it's also considered mystic cat, the black cat as well, and it's connecting with both of these cards. So, but none of these here in particular are the things. This is like a third eye thing, which you are really good with and which you really kind of like emphasize. And this is really interesting story over here, right? Because apparently, you know, there's a group of people playing cards, and you know, and somebody calls and she said, you know, I'm so and so, I just want to confirm my attendance tonight, and yet nobody knows who she is, right? And of the kind of like group that is there, like, I mean, there are four, two of them are wed and two of them are unknown to each other. It's a woman and a man. So now they're thinking this woman must be this guest of this man, but why wouldn't she say so, kind of a thing, right? And so they kind of like start addressing her, the woman who is going to be with us tonight. So this is this kind of like talking about this observer principle. As you probably know from quantum physics, the observer is a really interesting concept, because when they did this kind of a whole wave experiment, the wave started reacting completely different when it was observed. It was just so freaking bizarre. The same thing, the same process. It didn't react the same thing once the observer has been introduced. So is it wave, is it matter, is it wave, is it matter? So that's where the quantum physics can really react in kind of different ways, which kind of like talks about here that there's not going to be a very solid explanation, which is very much your specialty, Scorpio. You go as deep as you have to go, and you kind of like look for different situations, right? So since this is a card very much about your intuition, and I'm seeing this kind of like self-satisfied card over here, and then from that card we are leading into it's really hard for me to make a decision. It's really hard to how we kind of like move, like this is the ultimate decision between the heart and between your kind of like what you think it's right. So it kind of like something looks right, everybody's telling you to leave your boyfriend, but you feel strongly, right? So you're judging, well, maybe my heart is deceptive because the heart wants what it wants, but it doesn't make sense, kind of a thing, right? So hence you need to tap into your own intuition, right? What you suspect is probably true. You are Scorpio. You know this story about a frog in Scorpio, when Scorpio was trying to convince Frog to kind of like carry him on the other kind of like shore, and Frog goes, are you nuts? Are you nuts? You're going to like sting me. No, 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 of course I'm not. Like, otherwise I'm going to sink and I'm going to die. Like, of course I'm not going to do it. Are you insane? So kind of like Frog was pacified with that and accepted, and then halfway through it, poof, Scorpio stings him. They both kind of like sink and they both die. And while they're sinking, Frog is saying like, why? He goes, I can't help myself, I'm Scorpio, kind of a thing, right? So this is about something that is instinctual. This is something that kind of like must be known, but it's also about some kind of like breathing. And I don't know why. Maybe somebody has lung issues. Maybe this is something where people got so much boxed in. Like maybe you're spending too much time indoors. But I don't know, for some reason I'm seeing the vision of the little cube, and the cube is entire white. And there's a person in that windowless room just bouncing around. It's not a prison. It's very white. It's very clean. But I think the whole answer there is you need to turn to yourself, and you're looking outside of it and not getting out, where I think intuitive knowing is their solution. There's like a certain fear of the journey, and this is not very typical for Scorpio, guys. So you need to really spread your wings, and you need to kind of like allow yourself to go in some other kind of like situation. Hello Myra, welcome to the channel. I kind of draw the cards and when the sign shows up, but we still didn't do Capricorn, so there is still enough room to do that. So I'm going to draw the next one so you guys can guess. So this is going to be for the next one, and that's going to be one for after. The person who gets one card reading, And so let's see, it's helping all of us with intuition, with summoning guides, and it's kind of going in this direction. So Scorpio was like very intense for me. Like, I don't know if you guys felt it or not, but it was, I'm getting my freaking pop-ups here as well. So let's see who is next. Let's see the guesses. We have like few people on the roll. So we have a Leo, we have a Leo, we have Capricorn, and let's see what we get here. Woohoo! We have two Leos. We have Kylie and Ikat guessing. So let's start with Kylie being first. Kylie, get your card. You're on the roll too today. Oh my goodness. Kylie, this one wants to come out. You're getting also the card, the outsider, and so something that hasn't been achievable. Is that the card where the luck is actually, oh yes, I didn't notice it last time. I don't know if you can see it, if you'll be able to see it. I just looked in it. This lock is actually unlocked, but there is like this training, you look like the elephants in Asia, like when they kind of like lock them and they get conditioned that they're not going to run away, which is unfortunate because they would not also run away if there is a fire. So, but this is also good because when it's reversed, so this is the Five of Pentacles reversal, right? It's like that sad card of not belonging and the doors not being open for you, and always feeling how wonderful it would be to be somebody else. But now actually coming into full contact with yourself and actually understanding that you had to rely on your own strength, on your own resources to get where you are. So it was not maybe given to you like it was to someone, but nonetheless you make it kind of like go with things that you had. And so you're maybe not craving this anymore, and it is making you feel more content and more kind of like in kind of tune with who you are and how you are doing. So that's very, very important. So, and the next one who guessed was Ikat. Oh, there is another Capricorn, Chris. So 2 Capricorns. Ikat. You know who there were 2 Capricorns? Now you're not going to like this comment. I probably better not say it. It was the Gisèle Maxwell and what's his name? Epstein. There were 2. Oh my gosh, you're on the same day. Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. But none of them were like December ones. December ones are good Capricorns. Ikat. Your card is this one. Ooh, you're having maturity, but reverse. So you have immaturity. So message for you is like you need to let your hair down. You shouldn't be like, paying too much attention and kind of like setting all this kind of like rules down and basing. But this is also telling me that maybe there's like something that you're also not looking at that could actually be a long-term potential and long-term involvement. So it's really interesting because it can be seen this way. So if you are a serious person by nature, that's really telling you just, you need to relax. If you are like very much go with the flow, everything works person, then it's actually telling you you really need to sober up. So this really depends on who you are as a person, how that can be interpreted, which sign you are, etc. But so you have this like 2 options depending on what is basically who you are and how you are you going upright the last time. Oh my god, so it's everything at this stage. Like literally, like the potentials are there. So I guess if you got it upright, that's right. It really means that it's a full circle. You have to look not only into acquiring and doing the things that is going to set some like foundations, but you also should not forget to take it easy and even do mistakes, because that can mean like when it's reversed and certain things are not going to come out, and that's all okay. So it's almost like the journey that is more important than the goal in this particular stage. That's kind of like what I see. Well, doesn't matter if you're younger, guys. Like, this is just so freaking cute that this is kind of what's happening. So who was that? That was Leo. That is guest. So let's go with the Leo next. Let's put your fluffy sign over there. That is very rare. Like, I mean, sure, like we get the signs, but like get exact date and the 25th. It's amazing. So let's do that, Leo. It's always good to speak to the older people who are born on the same day, because they can give you like, psst, don't take this turn kind of a thing. Hello, Safi. Let's do Leo. Are you a Leo? You are a little Leo. That's why you're here, right? I love you. I love you. Just tell everybody to click like and share, because you wanted to come there to be kissed and liked, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? So, what do we have in here for Leo? Really? 1225. I didn't know that. Oh, 5 of Pentacles. What's that? And King of Cups. Woof. This is a toughie. Do we have any Leos over here? Because I'll have to render some tough love over here. You did guess Leo? Yes. I didn't see that you guessed, but let me just check it. Ooh, Leo. There's some... yes, you... Usha? When did you guess Leo? I don't see it. Oh, I guess you did. Okay, so let me do something for you here, Usha. Get a card for you. Oh, you're a Leo. Okay. Usha, you're having projections, reversed, and postponement. So there's like some kind of healing that has to take place. There is a situation that you are dealing with, which, how to say it? You see how they're very different from the faces they have seen. He's seen her as extremely seductive, and she's seen him as very angry, and yet they're very, very different people. So sometimes this situation happens when people in your life have to play the role that you assigned to them when you came to this life, when you wrote the story of your life. So even we sometimes are becoming the same way because somebody wrote it. We have to do that for them, and you're like wondering why in the world did they react this way. This is just very much unlike me, out of character as they call it, right? And it's really asking for things to really percolate. Right now it seems to be a little bit withdrawn from the direction, and it's asking for a little bit of the optimism. So I don't know, sweetie, are you a little bit depressed and kind of like dealing with that and dealing with wondering how people around you behave or their motivations? Because this is asking, look how she's just partially kind of colored, that you have to start pointing and focusing on the things in your life that are working, that are making you happy, and let it grow from there. It's clearly the card of healing and demanding some healing to take place in your life. So ECAT is Leo. So let's see. Au revoir, merci de votre attendance, and enjoy as well. So the next one, you have a date, nice. The next meeting will have the 4th of June, so hopefully I'll see you then. So my dear Leo, guys, here, there's like this whole thing that, and this is very much Leo. Leo likes everything to be grand, right? So if it is not grand, then it's just like not that great. It just, of course it's a Leo, it has to be the best. But something is happening, and there's like, and again, it could be that perfectionism, it could be that expectation that I'm seeing here, because the 5 of Pentacles, it talks about, I don't know, maybe it's a financial pinch. It's literally showing a whole bunch of things going downhill, going south. It could be financial things. It could be not being accepted. It could be not getting promotion. It's simply it feels like you're that square peg in the round hole. It's just not fitting, and no matter how much you try, you can't make it fit. Is it making you wrong? It's just making you not fit in that environment. And this environment can be very emotional destructive for you. And no wonder that you somehow maybe are not as active as you would want to be. And this is why this card isolation is coming through, which maybe talks about you being maybe harsh at times, and it's not your nature, but like it's just like simply what this environment, like you became a product of this environment. And this is clearly asking of you to kind of like this is almost like that. It feels like there are situations that force you into some kind of like isolation, not in a good aloneness, like, but it's kind of solitude kind of a thing. Maybe you guys got very hurt, maybe somebody got you hurt, and now you are protecting yourself, but you're overly protecting, or you're also overly preparing. It's almost like it has to be all or nothing, where the suggestion is like rather to take measured steps rather than like one big freaking da kind of like moment, and to celebrate even small things, and experiences are the key over here. So it's maybe time, if you guys fell in the hole, to move forward. It is time to kind of like see who you are in life, and not to wait for something special to occur for this to happen. So clearly it is sending message like that. So my Leo is my ascendant right now as well, so it's really interesting because I'm seeing messages here for myself as well, so we'll see that. So but Usha, I did pull the card for you, so I hope that's okay. You're welcome. So let's see now what is the next guess, and then it's going to be one more after that, and then no more guesses. So we have Taurus, we have Virgo, Libra, and Capricorn still to read. So we are having Virgo over there. Let me have a sip of coffee. Put it behind me, thank God, otherwise with all the cats walking it will be all over the table. Anybody else is throwing their hat in? We just have Virgo, and it's Needing Yogi, Capricorn. She guessed it right when I revolved this. Oh my gosh, you should be running this table today, like you are like on freaking fire. So let's do this. Oh, Capricorn, this one wants to come out, and you're getting healing reversed. So that will be the King of, and Myra, you also probably guessed before I revolved it. So healing is King of Cups, but it was reversed. So it's emotional situation, an emotional state, something that is really affecting your heart chakra. But look at that, like, I mean, it's the head and it's the hip area, so this is kind of like some kind of like affecting at this stage where some healing has to happen. So it's clearly emotional, it's showing up in cups, and this is what we were talking about, right? So not to go in those details over here, but there is like also could be some self kind of like acceptance, because it's also happening not only in the hip area, but it's sort of like emotional centers would be that strength and how moving forward and so on and so forth. So that's waiting for you to address it. So it's important. So Usha, waiting for a job offer, opening something that they want. Yeah, your hip, it just showed. So yeah, that's really, really interesting. So Capricorns, let's do your little sign over here, and oh, I still have a Leo, and let's go with this, your timestamp, and finally we got the Capricorns. Capricorns, we have Lovers reversed, and we have Five of Cups reversed. What's going on, guys? Did you just break up with somebody, or did somebody break up with you? Because this is just telling me complete lack of commitment and some kind of like sadness. But I'll be really honest, I'm always confused when I see Five of Cups, because this card is like one of those wild cards that can mean anything. It can mean getting back together with somebody after the breakup, as well as being very, very depressed, which can be seen during this Mercury retrograde, right? So that can somehow be seen in that way. Let me just see what we get from the Karma deck over here. We get passion. Or, now seeing the combination, first of all, I'm seeing 11. 11 is the healing, and it's not just healing of a scar. It's a much more, it's a universal healing. So if you guys, if this is not your relationship, the Mercury retrograde that we are going through could make you think about past relationship, and could make you think what went wrong. It's sort of a little bit of analysis, because you have a little bit of air over here, kind of like connected, but there's like somebody in the past with whom you have been kind of like connected at all. Or is it a need to be in a relationship, but something is going to bubble up on the surface, but something that is bubbling up is going to result in something very, very positive. I actually love this card, Passion. It talks about the princess, and this princess is coming from a family that don't like her doing this volunteering work, right? So she kind of goes and speaks to the elderly, and she reads them stories, and she's trying to put some vibrancy into their life, right? I don't know if you can see it. There is like this newspaper over here, and so what is basically happening that, you know, she is, instead of putting the crown on her, demanding that everybody kiss her, the ground she walks on, she is actually the servant for them, right? So she kind of like is having issues with her family, that they want her to stop, that she's minimizing that feeling of royalty, that she has to behave more like royalty. And she just kept walking her own path and following her own drum, and she kind of like jumped, I think, like she got nominated in an election or something like that, and she won, and now she's known as the princess of the people, and she is their new leader, which really happened due to, not to kind of like what basically royal blood you have been lucky to be born into, but simply because of your own work and what you kind of did to people. So even though there's like something happening over here, there's like something from your past that looks like help you to correct. There's like correction happening in your life, and that correction is something that you're going to feel very passionate about. So I really think you need to follow your instincts at this stage, right? Because whenever we start feeling emotion, it's almost like the door opens to the intuition, right? And it's kind of hard when we are overwhelmed. When I'm overwhelmed, it's really even hard to read for myself. And that's why I don't even trust my reading, because I either see like black or white, not really how I should be seeing here. So this is really talking to you about asking yourself if your daily actions are, for example, supporting your real passions. What are you willing to stand for it? So this is about being authentic, but also by being authentic, that would mean maybe not following your family tradition, you know, Lancasters always pay their debts, kind of stuff like that, but rather taking a stand for yourself, right? I don't know, maybe you have friends that betrayed you, or that something that you opened yourself up to someone just got shut and you have been laughed at. But this at this stage, you are kind of acknowledging that what you did was brave, and this is like now turning into a happy outcome. So this is about passion, this is about bravery, and you're like brave enough to be yourself, to be very authentic. And when people become fully authentic, they become like a magnet. People are just coming to them from all the sides. And for you, even though maybe you don't even think about it, it is actually something that started during some kind of breakup that has been very painful. That's kind of like how I see it here. So I don't know. So we'll see. So I don't know, Mira or something, Myra and Chris, how that kind of like affects, but you will be able to tell us better, right? And we have the very last guest for today before we go in the last 3 readings. So you have Taurus, you have Virgo, and you have Libra that can be that are up for the takes. And so let's see if we have anybody who is going to snatch it. It's getting easy, and that's why the very last one. Anybody? I'm going to look. Maybe me sending to you messages will help. So Kylie like have Libra, we have Virgo. Anybody else? I'm going to count to 10. Taurus, Virgo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm calling it like we have lots of Earth calling for, and we have 1 Libra, and it is Libra. And you literally said Libra when I saw it. It was connection of some sort. So Kylie wins Libra, so Kylie gets her card. In this case, you and Knitting Yogi, oh my freaking god, today you're hot. This one, you're getting the Creator. You're getting, this is you, Kylie. That will be the King of Wands. Look at the fire. It's the glow, and it's recognizing your own confidence and letting it grow, like literally energizing your inner center over here. Maybe spending some meditation, working on it. It's kind of like everything is possible attitude, growing as you as a person, accomplishing things, right? So this is like one of very, very positive kings who is very supportive of everybody else, because that's the ultimate confidence, where you don't have to take somebody else's win for making yourself better, but in the process you are also going to be acknowledged as the person who is helping others. So that's really, really lovely. So there you go, off you go, take your seat, take your crown, and that helps. So we are going to still do the doors with this deck, but let me put Libra's little icon over here. There we go. Let's go. Libra, your timestamp is 1:47. What happened to the sun? We were supposed to be very hot and sunny, and we are not hot and we are not sunny. So what's happening? Alright, Libra. Do we have any Libras? That's my original ascendant. Barbie's Libra, but hopefully we can still spend a second and send this like really, really, really healing energy toward Barbie, I guess. Thank you, Myra, for joining her here. Hopefully you'll see us in 2 weeks. The next one is on the 4th of June, and it's going to be the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much for joining. All the best. Let me see. Libra. What's nothing happening here? So we have 7 of Pentacles, but then we have the Empress over here, Libra. So what's happening? You have been spending money recently, or you maybe even lose money of some sort. Maybe you have renovated things. Clearly there's a little bit of a money pinch that I can see over here. Maybe you had some expenses that haven't been planned. But in any case, you're trying to pull everything together. Like, this is a Venus ultimately. And for you, beauty and balance is very important. You never feel you're there. It's the Venus principle, which makes everybody else envy, like how you are like poised and how you look great, but to you, you always feel, oh my goodness, do you think so? But this is like really not what I feel. So it is some kind of like showing, like this is really good because she is middle card and she's dominating the reading, and she's also major arcana. So the Empress is talking about taking care of your family, taking care of what matters to you, using the good and positive words, surrounding yourself with things that are really supporting you and that you can support. So it's kind of like something that is going to take out the best out of you, and it's really really important. It also talks to me about generational transfer for some reason, which is going to be very important. It doesn't, yeah, it can talk about the money, but this is a really interesting combination. This card, it's both Taurus and Libra that kind of are hidden there. So it's both material, but it's also kind of like intellectual transfer that happens. And then we have like this bittersweet, which we do see a birthday cake here, but we know it's not your birthday around here. So it's talking about the November birthday in this particular story. So I don't know if you're dealing with a Scorpio, maybe you're dealing with Taurus, you're dealing with an earth sign over here. But this is really talking about how we need to move on in life, even though we deal with some sad circumstances. In this particular case, it was a child birthday coming up that she wanted to kind of like do this for her own kid, but at the same time she was mourning the loss of her own mother. So kind of like it's kind of like really difficult to kind of like marry these kind of like two emotions at the same time, because you cannot tell the child that, you know, you are not happy. At the same time, you're feeling you're betraying kind of like your family by not being sad. So this is basically understanding that you just have to say, well, God bless you departed kind of like mother, and God bless you birthday child. That like both can be honored, that we don't have to necessarily link our loyalty to some kind of like emotions. So I think that these cards are telling me there's like some kind of like crossing or some kind of like passing that is really happening. There's like some kind of like release that needs to happen. Maybe you need to look in your investments. Maybe you need to do some kind of garage sale. Let go of the things that are no longer serving purpose in your life and can actually allow space for something new to happen. Maybe you are a parent and that's why the Empress showed up, and hence you have to make some decisions that necessarily are not supported by your children. So also that, for example, if children want to make decisions, that you can support them because you can see strength in them even though you don't trust those decisions necessarily, right? So this is kind of like about honoring others, about new horizons, and it's clearly about a very mature decision that actually is going to happen. So you guys have to be true to yourself, and you are literally going to spend this period being the best human you can be in spite of everything else that is going on in your life. So okay, so you guys, hopefully you get subscription. You have to, like now with YouTube, got some special thing you have to hit on the bell. I'm not doing enough, but it is what it is. Kind of like I want to get this somewhere and then kind of like try to get a little bit more. And we are going in the last two signs over here. So let me see. The next one will be this one, and this is Taurus, and the very last one will be Virgo. So let's go. Taurus. Let's put your stamp here. Let's put your little icon here. Taurus. Stamp. So I think Chris's ascendant is Taurus. Any more Tauruses over here, guys, that we have? Who else is Taurus? So let's see, because they just finished their birthday cycle, and usually right after your birthday cycle you feel a little bit worn. I guess that's the best way to put it. So let's see, Taurus. Let's see, Taurus. You have Hangman over here. You have King of Swords reversed. That's not a happy guy. Oh, for God's sake. That's that angry boss. Did you see this movie, Horrible Bosses? Like, the initial boss comes to mind when I see King of Swords. Man, that movie was hilarious. You have a soulmate over here, Taurus. So, let's see. Really interesting, because this is a Neptune principle. It's kind of like in between the heaven and the hell kind of a thing, being stuck in a situation. And this is, to me, one of the God's card. It can show a big maturity, almost like dealing with a situation where somebody is very prickly, somebody is actually even maybe abusive over here, that what I can see. So at least verbally abusive. I hope it's nothing even though that's bad, but I hope it's nothing more severe than that, right? But this is ultimately the card of us needing to suspend everything we are known all our lives to be the best solution, to be the best way forward, and only observe. So this is being that observer, as I was talking about, the power of the quantum theory, right? The power of observer that can change things. So this also means willfully doing that, because we subject ourselves to that and think, okay, I'm going to do everything how you do things. I'm going to embrace your life view, your lifestyle, and just see. And it's also like a little bit selfish reason in all of that, because we are learning somebody else's way of life. It doesn't mean that we have to stick there and stay there and do this all our lives, but for the time being we are doing that. In your situation is basically watching and observing somebody, and good for you being able to do that, because somebody has a really sharp tongue. And I don't know, hopefully this is not you, because it could be also a little bit the other way around, that you are kind of trying to engage with somebody who is actually really not engaging, who is just yes dear, yes dear, yes dear, kind of like happening in all of the situation. Because the King of Swords reversed is harsh. It's somebody who is mad at the entire world, who feels victimized, who feels wronged by the entire world, and no matter what you do, you cannot do right. They will tell you do this, you do that, and it's wrong. So it's kind of like a really difficult situation, because there's like no win in the situation. And I think this soulmate card gives us a little bit of window in what might be happening, because this is talking about the rose without thorns kind of like story. I don't know if you can see it. Talk to the hand, kind of like a card. And even though it sounds good, the story goes about this man who really likes that initial part of love, where you're very infatuated, and then when he's not feeling that butterflies anymore, it's time to walk away. And he has everything prepared. He kind of like tells them, and kind of like, and he's free kind of a thing, right? And maybe they're a little bit giving a struggle, how can you do this to me? And kind of like he expects pretty much this. Maybe you're breaking up with somebody, maybe you are in this phase. But this card also has an element of surprise, where this particular lady he's with now doesn't fall in this pattern, and she instead kind of like opens her eyes and she says, I love you. And so he had the script he wanted to deliver, and now kind of like those words kind of like died on his tongue, and he started to think and look at her, and all of a sudden he just realized, I just have to continue doing my script and I'll be free in an instant kind of a thing. But those words are not rolling off his tongue. So suddenly he kind of like embraces her, and he just starts feeling warmth coming through, and realizing, oh my gosh, I actually do love her. This is just feeling is different. It's kind of like warm. it's not that big bubbling on the surface. It's just right. So this is truly the freedom he was looking for, that he finds something that is like that kind of level, but he didn't know what he was looking for because he just encountered it, right? So as the card is called Rose Without Thorns, it's talking about the beauty of a rose, and that we must risk being pricked, right, when we are handling, and these are our inner thorns. So this is often this is kind of like how do we experience new things coming into our life, right? And so this is like talking about incentive to change, because this is like clearly somebody who wants to kind of like make things work. And so this is talking about really love being a motivating factor. But this is also about, guys, speaking your truth. It's about choosing love, but also choosing freedom through some kind of level of transformation. So one doesn't need to exclude the other, if you really will. But there's like somebody also who is resisting commitment. Expect the unexpected. It could be new outcome, it could be new truths, it could be really something that is really not going to go as planned. So Taurus, given that we don't have any earth element to ground you, you're going to be in an very unfamiliar territory. It's not going to be about money, which is kind of like usually the domain that you really excel at. It's going to be really about emotions and how these emotions are expressed. So stay tuned, because it's very difficult for you to kind of deal over there. So being observer and even putting up with somebody's telling you everything that is wrong might actually result into clarity. So I encourage you to be there as long as the situation is not abusive. That's what I would say over here. And sugar comes last, is Virgo, coming as our last read for today before the doors. So let's give you your icon. Nope, wrong one. This one. Let's do Virgo. The stamp. I'm kind of like almost on time, just a few minutes over, but I hope you don't mind. So Virgo, 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 Virgo. Oh my goodness. So here you have, this will be you, Virgo queens. So we have Ace of Wands. Sorry, my dirty mind, it just like went right there. I just don't want to hide it from you. Does it look to you how it looks to me, or am I spoiling you now with my attitude? And then we have like Six of Pentacles reversed, and then we have a Queen of Pentacles. So this card in the middle, let's address the negative card. It's really talking about generosity, but generosity is not given over here. It's kind of like whichever side of this equation you are, it's kind of, to me, give and take card. Maybe you have been giving and giving and giving, and somebody else has been taking and taking and taking, and now it's being reversed, or vice versa. It's going to be very much a different flow of things. So this means a revival of something from the past, and maybe it's resistance of yours to fall into the old patterns and claiming the new you, because that will be the easiest explanation over here to see. So let's see. Well, no wonder, Chris, you like your gardening, like you have that real connection with planet. I mean, Taurus ascendant and Capricorn Sun is amazing. Look at this guild. That's the thing you need to overcome. And I would say that maybe you need to be a taker at this stage, and then you're feeling, oh my gosh, I always have to be a giver and I have to do things. This is really interesting card, because it talks about this woman who always does stuff. I don't know if you can see it. She's changed. She has this little halo. She's ironing and doing the stuff, where she has the friend over here, I don't know if you can see it, who has the big freaking mega magnum bottle of vodka over there, right? So this woman must be Aquarius. She's collecting all of these what do you call these people, freeloaders, I guess, coming to her place, and she doesn't want to make them feel that she's kind of like rendering charity on them. So she tells them, well, you know, I'm doing this business and you are going to be my partner, and trying to kind of like get them engaged, right? Even though she's doing everything and they're just continuing with their whatever problems and depression they have. So one day she gets this vodka friend who is basically telling her, you know what, I don't want to be your business partners, give me my half, even though they didn't contribute to that whatsoever, right? But at this stage, this whole shift in attitude changed in this lady, because now she realized, okay, oh, wait a minute, did that ever work? That I was doing this attitude and I was thinking I was being kind, and that basically was non-arrogant attitude. And she says, you know what? No, you did nothing, and I did all the work, and you are not going to get anything because you just simply didn't work for it, you didn't deserve it. So this is kind of like a lesson and a message to you that these people need to be self-sufficient, right? And for some reason, maybe you have been a pillar for somebody and everything, and this is all great, but like when it continuously start to be the same direction, it's just one street kind of like direction, then it start to be difficult, right? Maybe you have been doing this out of guilt or out of fear that you're going to be disliked, but you need to speak truth, because honesty is freedom over here. And I don't know, like this could have been money, it could be time, it could be energy, and then resenting it. I'm doing all of that and nothing happens back. I mean, I have been in this situation. I had workers here and I was cooking for them all the time, making sure they're fed, they have drinks. I never got thank you, I just got F you kind of like a thing in the end. So this is kind of like needing reassessed. Well, maybe if I'm bitchy, it's not who I am, it's not who I want to be, but maybe it's going to set these better boundaries, and respect is going to be where it is, because this way you're blurring those lines, and when the lines are blurred, kind of like weird things happen, or as they call it, weird shit happens kind of a thing, right? So this is telling me, especially over here, you're putting yourself on a pedestal. This is about self-care. Even though you maybe have been burdened by the obligations, you are at this stage creating this differently. You are now enabling them, and you're finding your own personal power. So people need to do something, and you're only going to move when they do that step, and then you're going to go toward them, and vice versa. So this is waking up and being aware and releasing anything that is dead, deadbeat, dead stuff, something that really needs to go off in your life. So that needs to happen. So there you go. So we are coming to our last doors. So let's see. I'm going to close it. You guys think about something. Think about things that really needs to, that you want answers for, and let's hope that they arrive. So I'm going to close this for a moment, so if the cards fall out that you don't see them. So let's see this, and let me shuffle, put all of these little things back in the thing so we have more space here. You guys think about not the same question as before. You just cannot play with those energies. It's just confusing for everybody. It's just like, I just told you. Like, you're asking me this again. That's kind of like how the other side feels like, because to them it's a lots of effort to be somewhere in the middle stage to kind of like come and communicate with us. Okay, let me just cut it. I have a first, I have a second, and I have third. All right, let me go back to your screen and let's see. So we have threes and we have threes, and let's see. So the door number one is, whoa, it's a rebirth. And this is an amazing story, but this is a story about always wanting to be something different. So it's telling me that you clearly want a wish that you might get, this is 10 of Swords, which means it's very unlikely that you would get, but also anything that comes out of the situation will be positive for you. That's kind of like really weird situation. But it's also telling me that you can do so much better than what you're wishing for. So, right? Do you want to get stuck being a camel, or do you want to go into the slang stage, or a child, or music? So it's kind of like showing evolution, and don't peg yourself in a situation. So you might want to rethink that question. The door number 2, we have maturity reversed. So I would say this might happen. It's a maybe. However, there is like no long-term success in the stage. So if this is a fling, it might be a fling, but it's never going to evolve into something big and something really, really long-term. And Kylie asking if moving at the end of the year will be successful. And we have harmony. Do I need to explain this? This is a resounding yes. It's going to feel comfort. It's going to feel family. You're going to fit right in, and it's going to be very emotionally satisfying. So like everybody who wished number 3, you guys were right on. There's like no doubt, and everything really works. Almost like things are evolving and revolving the way they should be. So here we are. I'm only 2 minutes over. I just can't believe it. This really, really worked out really, really well. And oh my gosh, it was such a pleasure, guys, being with you. I absolutely love working on the days that are not sunny and warm, because I'm here in Canada, and I even moved from Toronto to a much colder climate. So our window of opportunity for enjoyment is like 15th of May to I think will be stretched to say 1st of October, so 15th of September. So it's that short period of time that we are all targeting to kind of like do stuff. So, but I also love you. I want to spend time with you. So I'm really glad to be kind of like going. So there you go, Kylie. Maybe this is showing your eldest child in your particular situation that is going to feel connection, and things are going to kind of get stronger, especially on the family level. So, oh my gosh, knitting yogi, the two of you clearly had the same question, and they clearly both have the same results. So hopefully this happens. I love you all, guys. Be well, and I will see you the next time. So don't forget, it's the 4th. I'm going to put the stamps now, and so it's good to kind of come and revisit, because I really felt really, really high intuition today. So if you need to, kind of come back and check it out. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best, and I'll be talking to you soon. Love you. All the best.